Sup, y'all, and welcome to the Food Network, Part 10. In this video, we're going to investigate the rural cultural landscape and look at this essential question: what imprint does agriculture make on the built environment? To begin, we'll take a look at some of the dominant land survey patterns in the United States. Even before the Constitution was ratified, the U.S. Congress of the Confederation passed the Land Ordinance of 1785. This law set up the township-and-range system. It was a cadastral system, meaning it was a process in which property lines were defined. The township-and-range system was organized to survey and divide land into smaller sections for settling, and this was done in multiple subdivisions. It helped facilitate the American concept of manifest destiny, which stated that God ordained the country to spread from sea to shining sea. And this was relatively easy to implement since there are no major physical barriers across the Great Plains until you hit the Rocky Mountains. Some towns and villages distinctly show the township and range system, such as this image that shows Garden City, Iowa. And you can see on this map, the land in yellow shows the federally surveyed rectangular lands set up through the township and range system. Another means of surveying the land dominated the eastern seaboard in the original 13 colonies. The metes and bounds approach is practically as old as dirt and had been utilized in England for centuries. In this system, natural features demarcate irregular parcels of land, which explains the territorial morphology of the original 13 colonies. It uses physical features of the local geography as well as directions and distances to delimit boundaries. Features such as rivers or trees are mentioned in the documentation, and you can see the metes and bounds system with the land colored in brown. And a final system can be seen in red where the French had settled across the U.S. The long lot survey system was used by French settlers who were more interested in the fur trade than farming. As such, the land was laid out to give maximum access to the rivers that were the main routes to the interior and to give access to a road. This way they could trade their furs and other goods with maximum efficiency. As the area was further developed, the road would provide frontage for a second range of land strips when the first range was fully occupied. Moving on, there are three general rural settlement patterns within the study of geography. Dispersed settlements are more common in MDCs since they possess modern technology, such as the combine harvesters you see in the lower image. So a great deal of the farming is extensive, yet due to the use of technology, it is very productive. MDCs also possess a small percentage of people working in primary activities, with massive concentrations of the population and jobs in cities. Nucleated or clustered settlements are more common in LDCs, who have fewer mechanical tools and vehicles. A larger percentage of their workforce is involved in primary activities, and they utilize as much land as possible for farming. LDCs are also less urbanized. Now, some rural nucleated settlements still exist in MDCs, but they are typically remnants of older hamlets and villages. A third type is reminiscent of a survey style we alluded to earlier, and that is linear, which usually follows a single transport route, such as a road, river, or canal. Some form due to physical restrictions, such as mountains, valleys, or coastlines adjacent to them. They usually have no obvious center, as in a road junction or intersection. Often, the route predates the settlement, when a physical feature makes a linear land pattern logical and sometimes even essential. Villages and rural areas often have similar functional characteristics. After all, the main purpose for the existence of rural settlements is for people to conduct primary activities, such as the mining of metals, logging of trees, and of course, farming for food. The homes and buildings that dominate the cultural landscape exhibit functional differentiation, meaning different structures are often built to accommodate specific functions. And this differentiation is greatest in Western MDCs, who not only have specialists and money to build various structures, but also the available land space, not found as plentifully in more densely populated areas such as Japan. This image of a modern family farm in Minnesota has a 2-story home, a stable, barn, silos for grain, garage for vehicles, among other various useful structures. Contrast that with this image of a stilt village in rural Cambodia, where the buildings all look very similar, yet many are used for different functions. And this is largely due to the fact that they do not possess the money nor the means to build such varying structures.
Look at all those chickens!